Hello, welcome to another episode of Awakening with Soulspirational. I'm Tish, and today we're going to be talking about the throat chakra. So if you've been watching the last few episodes, I've been going through a series starting at the root, working our way up through the 7 main chakras. The throat is the 5th of those 7. So the throat is represented by the color blue, the color turquoise. This is our truth center. It is represented by the element of sound, or the ethers, but we're really going to focus on sound for this particular chakra. There are 2 different archetypes, and there's a book called The Book of Chakras by Ambika Waters. I love the book. And she talks about the positive and the negative archetypes, and I really like to share this information because I think they could be little nudges for us if we're in that type of energy. So the positive archetype for the throat would be the communicator. So somebody who speaks their truth. You know that you can trust this person when they're speaking to you. This is somebody who lives through personal integrity. And again, it's what we are speaking. It's our communication, our truth center. The negative archetype would be the silent child. So somebody who expresses or suppresses their expressiveness because of fear or of shame. And this is really interesting. I like how she puts that. We can think back, as some of us anyway, can maybe think back to our childhood where maybe we were meant to be seen and not heard. So when I read that, that's kind of, at least for me, part of what I pick out of that. So these are also people that are not able to express their truth for one reason or another. Where maybe they feel like they can't even express their higher truth or feel as though they're connected to their higher truth. The archangel associated with this chakra would be Gabriel. The areas of the body that it governs, so we can think about, of course, the throat, the neck, the ears, the mouth, the jaw, the tongue, esophagus, shoulders, the upper back, the arms, and the thyroid gland. So when we're looking at the throat chakra, again, now we're building our way up through the chakra system. So whereas the lower 3, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, are our earth chakras, more of our earth chakras, here we're getting up into the spiritual chakras. The heart is where the upper and the lower chakras meet. So now we're in the area of our spiritual chakras. The throat, it is said, is linked to our higher self. When it is imbalanced, we can think of things like hyperthyroidism, different areas of throat issues. We may experience a lot of pain in the back of the head or through the neck or the upper shoulders. So if you're experiencing some of these issues, you can stop and think about, if you are going through something right now, you may be able to go back and think about when this particular health issue started for you. Was there something going on in your life at that particular time where maybe you felt restricted to speak? Do you feel like this is something that maybe is built up throughout your lifetime? Because again, if you were raised as though you weren't able to speak, let alone to speak your truth, things may even energetically be caught in your throat. So some things to think about here. When we think about balancing, just like any other chakra, you can bring in the color that represents the chakra, in this case blue, and have blue elements around you. Maybe wear blue clothes. You can go online and search for essential oils to help balance the throat chakra, different crystals to help you to speak your truth, to be able to communicate more. When we were talking about the throat chakra, there's another element I like to think of as well. If we are somebody who, maybe we're speaking our truth, but we are filtering it through something very harsh, maybe very judgmental. We aren't speaking kindly of others. So maybe we truly feel this person, we may think a certain way about somebody, but when we're speaking that, if it's harsh, it's going to make our throat feel harsh. So is there a way that we can maybe temper what we're speaking about others, so we can speak more lovingly, or just be a little more careful with the words that we're using, because even those harsh words are affecting the energy of the throat chakra. Let's see here. So with the balancing, so the backside, all right, so when we are, this is our throat, as I said, our truth center, the communication center. So Cindy Dale, she's another author of chakras, and she is where I've picked up a lot of information about the backside of the chakras. And one of the things she talks about is this is a place where old tapes are being stored, the backside of the throat chakra. And when I read that, it took me back again to youth. So if we are hearing negative things just in our environment, we may have just brought those things into our being. Sometimes we will even repeat the words. So if somebody told us that, we're worthless, we won't ever amount to anything, we hear this negativity, we may be internalizing that information. And that's affecting our energy body and other places as well. But sticking with the chakras here. So if you are hearing these old tapes play in your mind, you can hear them, it may be time to push the off button and not allow them to affect you like that anymore. You get to stop. You get to press stop on that playback and replace those negative words with something much more positive, something much more loving for you. Okay. Now, when we are thinking about the other chakras, if you've watched those, we start at the root and we think about the earth element. We go up into the sacral for the water element, the solar plexus for the sun. And then we go into the heart chakra, the lungs, the air that we're breathing. What is the air that we're breathing toxic? Is it healthy? And then now we're going up to sound. So when we hear something, is it's coming into the system, oftentimes, and I spoke about this in the previous episode, we may chew on it for a little bit. Oftentimes it's like we're forcing ourselves to swallow something. And we may even say, wow, that was really hard to swallow. I've got to chew on that for a while. That's all the throat chakra element working in real time as you're processing this. Well, if we're forcing ourselves to believe whatever it is that we just heard, it has to pass through the throat center, the truth center. And it may not feel right, and yet for some reason, it's like we push it down anyway on some of this stuff. And then it has to pass through the heart center. So when we think about a place of love and kindness, but also in the air that we breathe. So if we are taking somebody else's words and we're forcing ourselves for whatever reason to accept them, it may be making the air in the heart chakra again more toxic, something that is unhealthy for us to be breathing. Do we want these negative words, for example, to be what we are absorbing or consuming or breathing? So really stop and think about what is coming in, what you are hearing, whether that's from a friend, a family member, something on TV. Just because it is spoken doesn't mean that it's true. And maybe it's true for others, but it doesn't mean that it's true for you. You do not have to accept that. Because as I spoke of the other ones, when we're putting them together, it's, we bring it into the ears, we're chewing on it for a while. Are we going to swallow it? And then we have to go through the whole digestive process within the solar plexus. The filtering out within the sacral, the cleansing with the water, if you will, and then down into the root. Is this nourishment? Is it going to work its way down into our earth, into our soil, so to speak, within the root chakra, and nourish it, or is it going to be something negative and unhealthy for our root system. So if we just start paying, if we become more consciously aware of what it is that we're hearing, what it is that we're absorbing within the body, then we can stop. At that time that it's brought into our being, we can state the intention, you know what, this isn't about me. Because oftentimes hurt people hurt people. So when we can stop and recognize that, you know what, maybe this person is just projecting their stuff onto me, that this really isn't about me. And that's why I like to chew on things. And if there's a nugget of truth in there that I can process, maybe there's something helpful for me, nourishing for my soul, then I will swallow, because then my throat's going to accept it, because it's my truth. Even if I don't like it, it's my truth, right? So I can work on that. I can process it through my system, through this place of love and compassion for myself. I can process it without judgment for myself in the heart center. So then that way, when I get down to the solar plexus, it isn't clouding my sun. It isn't putting out my passion, the fire of passion or desire within my solar plexus. And then down into the sacral, which is your water. If you're looking, if you do the visualization where you're looking at your body of water, if you go even deeper, what is that at the bottom of that riverbed, so to speak? What is at the bottom of the ocean, of this water that you see in the sacral? How much stuff has just, that we have taken in that is laying there at the bottom of the sacral chakra, going into your root system. We can go in there and clean out that debris. But we're going into the throat right here, a place where we can stop it as it's entering into our being. We do not have to accept this as our truth. Likewise, let's pay attention to what we're speaking to others. Are we projecting our stuff onto them? If I'm in a hurt place, am I finding myself using hurtful words towards others? And if so, I get to choose to stop, because I don't think the vast majority of people, they are not intentionally trying to hurt somebody. Again, hurt people hurt people. So if I'm in an unhealthy state, if I'm agitated, whatever it may be, and then somebody happens to push a button because I'm already in an unhealthy state, so maybe it's a lot quicker for somebody to push a button, then I'm reacting instead of responding. But as often as we can, when we can stay in that place of conscious awareness, then we can recognize, you know what, I'm not in a very healthy place right now, or a very good place emotionally, mentally, whatever it is. So I'm going to choose not to react to whatever was just said. I'm not going to send back this yuck that somebody had just brought to me. Or maybe somebody didn't do the yuck, but we're just feeling that way, and we just want to vent or spew some of that because we don't want to contain it. You know, maybe that's a time to journal. You know, write things down. You know, you can take it outside to a burn pile, burn it. If it's something that you want to make sure that people don't see, journal it, get it out. That is a form of communication. Get it out. Maybe you know, you're an artist of some form. So whether that's singing, whether it's composing music, maybe that's painting. Express yourself. Get that out. Communicate whatever this is through your passion, through your desire. Let that kind of stuff out, because otherwise we are building, we could be... that energetic blockage, for example, it can continue to grow and really cause us some issues. And the more that we work with the chakras, the more that we can see they truly are connected. One does affect another. They do affect each other. So if I can stop at the level of the throat when things are coming in, then I'm not adding to the other stuff that I've been pushing down within my energetic body. I truly can go in there and start working on these other issues so I can start pulling them out. You know, I do different exercises, different visualizations or meditations where, you know, we work on just releasing that stuff in a healthy, safe space. And that may be something if you're with working with a talk therapist, or going through talk therapy. where you can work through this, where you can talk it out, get some of those issues out. Stop it as you're hearing it. You do not have to accept other people's words as your own. So this is, again, something here to think about. So it's the element of sound. Going through the truth center, the communication center, sending its way down through the heart. Again, the air that we are breathing, our environment. Going down into your solar plexus. It could be whatever caused you to keep your throat restricted, for example. You may even speak with a very low voice. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you're speaking with a low voice because there's fear attached to that other people may hear you and you don't want to risk upsetting somebody. Again, it's just something to bring to mind, to start thinking about. Likewise, if you're somebody who talks very loudly, really projecting, maybe it's time to bring some of that in. Ultimately, for me, it's balance. Where's my balance point with each of my chakras? Am I talking too much? And I recognize when I am, and then I pull back. Have I felt more? Actually, I'm thinking more up in my head where I'm not speaking as much. I'm just kind of keeping it within me. So I just try to stay consciously aware about where my balance point is, where am I teetering, and we're humans, so we're going to be on either side of the balance point at any time. But the more that we can, get to that balance point, I think the better that it feels. At least it does for me. And hopefully, if you're going through these episodes, going through the chakra system, you can see how one really does affect the other one. And I really, having the different visualizations, again, about sun and what we're bringing in, can bring us great insight if we just open ourselves to the process. All right, so with that, we have a few minutes. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm big about cleansing the energy of my hands. So you can cleanse your hands if you'd like. And then when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes and feel into your throat chakra. And you can place a hand in front, a hand behind if it's comfortable, or both in front, or just one, whatever feels good. And then take a moment. Can you see the blue within your throat? And then take a moment, if you would, and think about the different sounds you've heard in your lifetime. If it's something unpleasant, can you pick up who's saying these words? Because again, if somebody gave this to you, you get to choose to stop and not accept it as your own. Here's the other thing. I'm going to walk you through a little exercise here. So if you have been feeling as though some of the words spoken to you in the past have been unhealthy or hurtful, bring your attention into your heart center, your heart chakra, and then think about something that makes your heart spontaneously smile. So whether that's your kids, your grandkids, maybe you just had a fun night out with your friends, just think about something that makes your heart spontaneously smile. Feel that love, that joy, excitement, whatever it is, just build up in your heart center. Front to back, side to side, so that whole portion of your chest, just allow it to be filled with, again, love, joy, excitement. Once you do, anchor the energy, that feeling, but then imagine bringing the energy of it up. It's anchored, but bring some of it up through your throat, and then up into your ears and out. So you're just kind of bringing it up, and you can imagine as it's coming up, it's pushing out anything unwanted, any unhealthy words, just let it push on out. So you're using this high vibrational energy, this beautiful, loving happiness, excitement, joy, whatever it is, and you're using this high vibrational energy to push up anything unwanted, anything that is still blocking your airways, and send it out. And just clear your airways. Let light, love, joy, happiness to infuse with your ears. And remember, it has to pass through your throat chakra to get up into your ears. And you can also do this if you have been, maybe you have been speaking more harshly of people lately or of yourself. Get into this place of love or joy, whatever it is, and feel the energy of that moving through your throat, softening your words. You're using the love, the compassion, the kindness of the heart, and you're allowing that to coat your throat so you can speak more lovely towards others, more loving and kind towards others. And then again, up through the ears. And this is great too if you've been having issues even, throughout your nose, your sinuses. Send the energy up. Just give it some love, give it some light, bring it up and send it through. When you're ready, just come back into your heart center. So then with that gives you an overview anyway of the throat chakra. If you were to go online, get out some chakra books, you're going to find a lot of information, much more than I can possibly give you in these episodes. But I'm trying to give you just another way to think about the chakras, to see how they're all interconnected. And if that gets you to, if you're not already seeing a talk therapist, to get to a therapist, or maybe it's to clergy, a spiritualist like myself, to start working through some of this. Start releasing that unwanted energy you're carrying in your soul that doesn't serve you, that you may have been holding on for 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, 50 years. You can work to get that out of your energy body. And remember, place those sounds with sounds of love. So this is, you can place affirmations. So you're hearing yourself, even if it's in your mind, if you're saying it silently, I am love, I am strong, I am capable. Whatever those words are for you, replace the negativity with love and with light. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you have any questions at all, please feel free you can email me at info@soulspirational.com. Feel free to visit my website, soulspirational.com. And otherwise, I just want to encourage you to get more information and get in your chakra system. So until next time, thank you, be well, and namaste.